Catch up.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have roll call, please?
Supervisor McGlasson?
Here.
Councilwoman Campbell?
Present.
Councilman Tempori?
Here.
Councilman Ruthven?
Here.
Councilman Boyd?
Here.
All present.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our first item on the agenda is for new windows at the Field 3 at Ryan's Field. The windows that are up in that box are completely failed. Can't see through them. So we've gone out, we've gotten 3 quotes. We do have the money in the budget. We budgeted for this. And I'm asking the town board to vote tonight for the cheapest, which is from Brewster Glass, for a total of $2,350.
There is no prepared resolution, just so you know.
We're looking.
There isn't one?
There was not.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I apologize.
Okay.
Maybe I just didn't attach it to the email, or maybe we didn't, I don't know. I know I read one today.
Do you have one?
I don't.
Oh,
Okay.
It's not here, but I did,
Wing it.
I didn't
But is that
attach it.
any
So you
board
can just do
comment?
it by motion.
Yeah, any public comment? Okay, I make a motion to approve the ordering of 3/4 inch clear tempered insulated units for a total cost not to exceed $2,350 from Brewster Glass Shop. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Lana, do you need anything for that or no?
no, I
Okay,
have the backup.
thank you. Okay, our next item is from Lake Tibet. They are asking us, they would like to hydro rake the lake again this year. They've sent us 3 proposals and are asking us to go with New England Aquatics for approval, spending up to $24,000 this year.
Okay.
Sean, did you have a comment on this?
Not on this, but I was just gonna see that we have Rich is here, the highway superintendent, and I know that they have some concerns up there in Lake Tibet about bamboo, and that it was destroying one of the roadways. So at some point, I'll ask Rich to come up afterwards.
Okay.
Talk about.
All right, we good?
Does anyone have?
I make a motion to pass a resolution accepting a proposal for Lake Tibet hydro raking. Whereas the town board of the town of Kent has been advised there is a need for hydro raking of Lake Tibet Park District Number 2, and whereas in accordance with the town's procurement policy, the town requested 3 proposals from companies which provide this specialized service and received 2 proposal copies of which are annexed hereto and incorporated herein by reference. And whereas by email dated February 2nd, 2025, the Lake Tibet Park Association has recommended that the town accept the proposal of New England Aquatics as it represents the best value since multiple vehicles will be used for the extraction and removal. And whereas the town board of the town of Kent wishes to accept the recommendation of the Lake Tibet Park Association and the proposal submitted by New England Aquatics, now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby approves the hydro raking of Lake Tibet by New England Aquatics for the price set forth on the proposal annexed hereto in an amount up to $24,000. And be it further resolved, the town supervisors is hereby authorized and directed to execute any and all agreements and other documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Sean, are you bringing anything up about the
I'll
now?
actually before Rich comes up.
Okay, all right.
Let's move out of that.
So we'll keep moving on?
Do you remember the bamboo issue up at Lake Tibet, Rich, back there?
Oh,
Yeah, you don't have to come up now, but we'll talk about it, because.
All right, hold on. When we get to Richie and 2 items, then we'll talk
Yeah.
about that. We'll add that to your
Exactly.
list of things. Okay, our next item is for the Board of Assessment Review. Our assessor Seth Plowski is asking us that he would like to appoint Charles J. Williams to fill the vacancy. He's saying that to be filled began on, it runs through September 30th, 2029. I don't think we started back in October, so.
Well, the term ends in September, and it would have started October 1st, 24.
So we'll just do today through September 30th, 2029.
Okay.
Any comments?
I make a motion to pass a resolution appointing a member to the Board of Assessment Review member, whereas the town of Kent wishes to fill a vacancy on the Board of Assessment Review, BAR, and whereas the town board advertised for candidates to fill the vacancy and interview those who wish to be considered, and whereas the town board has determined that Charles J. Williams has the necessary qualifications to fill the vacant seat, now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby appoints Charles J. Williams to fill the vacant position on the BAR for a term to expire September 30th, 2029. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just a quick thing, so obviously it's very self-defining as Board of Assessment Review member, but particularly this time of year, and as we're going through an assessment, what does this person do exactly? Anybody?
Well, that's who people come in to,
When they grieve their
when they grieve,
assessment.
that's, they go in front of the Board of Assessment Review.
So it's a one-person board?
No.
Three of
No.
you.
No, it's more
than
than
that. There are 5.
Five.
There are 5 people on it? Very good, thank you.
Now there are 5, there were only 4.
There was 4.
Okay. All right, our next items, oh, perfect timing. Next item on the agenda is for EMS.
Thank you. Sorry, we just had a call over on Kenview.
You just wanted to make an entrance.
What's
This is
first?
David Rains, our EMS coordinator, so we have a couple things for you tonight, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Where do you want to start? Should I do the report? Start with the report?
Yeah, start with the report, please.
Apologize, give me 30 seconds.
Take your time.
Thank you.
Pass that down. Just keep it.
Yeah, we'll pass them down here.
One copy. Thank you.
Oh, this is, I think in our packet also.
So the monthly analytics for a month of February, we did 111 calls. There were 111 calls in town. We covered 92 of them. The balance were either double or triple calls handled by other agencies. We transported 55 patients. There was 11 calls that were canceled by either the police or the caller. We had 15 refusals, 2 deceased, and 9 lift assists with no transport. So out of the 100% of the calls, we covered 83. The other 17% were covered by other agencies. 12 calls originated at Putnam Nursing and Rehab, which is 10% of the calls. As far as transporting to the hospitals, 4 to Danbury, 46 to Putnam, 3 to Westchester Medical, 1 to Mid-Hudson Regional, and 1 to Vassar Brothers. And again, we do that because of location and also specialized care. The breakdown is 20 of the 55 patients that we transported were transported advanced life support with the Empress Medic, and 35 were transported basic life support. We're still averaging about that 14-minute time to scene from dispatch, which is well under the county 19 minutes. On-scene time's about 30 minutes with the paramedic, and on-scene time without the paramedics about 20 minutes. So a total call takes a little over an hour on the average. The top complaints for this month, we had a lot of sick, just general sick person, and a lot of that was the flu and COVID. General exam, meaning they had some kind of medical issue that required hospitalization. We had a bunch of head injuries due to falls, altered mental status, and shortness of breath. So we're kind of on par the last 90 days from December. It's kind of showing a pretty steady consistency. We ran 114 calls the last month, in January, 111 this month, and I'm sure we'll be on par for about that in March. Any questions on the analytics? No?
Looks great.
I do have another question on something else.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we were given two ambulances, one by each fire department. Are we running both, or are we running just one?
We're running both. Well, I'm sorry, we're staffing one, we're alternating based on weather. Chris, we were using the all-wheel drive ambulance when there's any potential for weather, and now that it's nicer, we're using the other one just so we can balance the mileage and the use.
I didn't know one of them was all-wheel drive. Very good.
Yeah, the Kent ambulance, the larger one, is all-wheel drive.
Okay, all right, thank you. I just asked that because last time I had asked, one of them was still getting work done.
Yeah,
but-
and the work was completed right around the beginning of the year. The highway department did an excellent job getting it back in shape.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Yes.
so do you want to move on with your?
Sure. Just guide me a little bit. I don't have an agenda in front of me.
Appoint provisional field shift supervisor?
Yes, so one of my requests tonight in front of you is to appoint Matt DeFalco as a provisional supervisor and increase his rate of pay to $25. The provision would be that Matt would have to take and actively take and then pass the supervisor's exam, which he has signed up for with the county, and we probably won't see the results till mid-September, so that's why I asked that he provisionally be appointed. I really am having difficulty operating with all part-timers, and Matt's been a huge asset. He's pulled the team together. He's been developing SOGs. He developed a field training team to train our EMTs, and he's been doing a great job as my right-hand person. So I'm asking at this point that we appoint him as a provisional supervisor at a rate of $25 an hour. It is at a budgeted position, and we do have money in the budget for benefits for that position.
That was in our.
It was in the budget,
Okay,
yes.
all right. Just be careful with your SOTs and stuff like that. None of us understand
I'm
that
sorry,
lingo.
standard operating guidelines. We're developing guidelines.
I'm starting to, because I get it all.
Thanks, Chris.
We
All right.
good? I make a motion to pass a resolution to hire a provisional EMS supervisor for the town of Kent EMS, whereas by a letter dated February 23rd, 2025, a copy of which is annexed hereto and hereby incorporated herein, David Rains, the Emergency Medical Service Coordinator, has recommended the hiring of Matt DeFalco as provisional EMS supervisor, and whereas the town board desires to accept the recommendations of Mr. Rains and hire Mr. DeFalco as full-time provisional EMS supervisor at a rate of $25 per hour effective as of April 1st, 2025. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the hiring of Matt DeFalco as full-time provisional EMS supervisor as further described above, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to take all necessary action to give effect to this resolution. To make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then you wanted
My
to,
last request,
your-
Ms. McGlasson, is to elevate Owen Murray from part-time to full-time status. He has opted to waive benefits. He has benefits. He's a younger individual, so he's going to have benefits for several more years under his parents. We like to do that. He's been exceptional. We did our reviews, and he was outstanding, in all categories. He's been a leader. And we're really looking to get one or two full-timers, and really what's driving that is the fact that I can't order in or call in part-timers. There's nothing. So when we develop this agreement letter with both of them, there's going to be understanding in the letter, both with Matt and Owen, that they're going to have to cover days like Easter and Memorial Day, things like that, or when we're in a situation where we, have someone called sick or need additional personnel. There's really no bite, as you might understand, to order in or call in somebody who's part-time. I can ask, but there's nothing that, really drives them to come in.
and you would keep him at the $20 rate?
He would say, I'm sorry, yes, Jamie, he would
Just-
stay at the $20 an hour
So he's
rate.
not getting any more? He would
No
just
more
be-
money and
It
no
would just, that would
benefits.
be able to use him for the 40 hours
Right.
versus right now how we have to standard part-time, so it'd be better for
Is
our
it in the budget?
hours.
Yes, it is,
Okay, as long as we budgeted for it.
yeah. So it's still part of that 336 hours we're paying to staff the one ambulance. So it costs us 336 hours at $20 an hour to staff the one ambulance.
But once we go to a full-time position, we're also paying pension and, you know, I know you said no health insurance on it, but
Correct.
there are legacy costs to it.
But we had more, we had other options for full-time. This is actually cheaper
Right.
than any of the other options.
Okay,
that
well,
Gene?
as long as it's in the EMS budget, I don't
Yes.
want to go above
No,
and
no, no.
beyond the EMS
Absolutely, yeah, when the budget was developed with a lead, 2 supervisors, full-time with benefits, were all budgeted for the 2025 budget.
budget. Okay,
Okay.
we don't have a resolution for this.
No, there's not one in there. What was, oh, it was Owen, what was?
Murray?
Murray. I make a motion to change Owen Murray's status from part-time to full-time for a pay rate to stay the same at $20 per hour for EMS. Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Is that starting tomorrow?
When,
Whenever you feel it would be appropriate to be effective.
I mean, effective March 12th, 2025.
Sounds good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Anything else?
I think we're good.
And these are the new uniform shirts?
Very nice.
Was it in the budget?
He made them himself.
Yeah, they did.
Very good.
All right, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have the Highway Department. I invite Richie Othmar, our Highway Superintendent, up here.
While he's coming up, I just want to give a plug to him and his team. We had 100 and something calls last month, and about 80 of them were in bad weather. These guys were there and got us out of each jam. We had no delays in getting patients to hospital, and I've been operating in Putnam for 40 years, and I've never seen a group so on point. They beat us to the scene. They had their trucks there, their plows, so I just want to let you guys know they've been phenomenal.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Do you want to ask about the bamboo?
Yeah, do you remember, so like Tibet has that issue, somebody had planted bamboo close to the road, and the roots were literally going out into the road and buckling the blacktop.
Yeah, I got a call about 3 weeks ago from Dorian DeSilio. She's the president over there. So I went over and looked, and it's overgrowing, so, and the ice, it leans over. So I sent the homeowner a letter, a registered letter, and I sent them an email. I haven't heard back yet, so we're going to cut it. You know, I didn't want to do it, you know, I just want to try to be courteous. They said he was a nice guy, but he's got a shield on the inside of his driveway that protects his own blacktop in his driveway, but this stuff will grow under the road and just, it's like the Japanese knotweed. So we're going to be cutting that out pretty soon, and then I'm just going to dig a trench.
Yeah, because it's like almost 18 foot tall, and then the ice storm we had, it literally just bent right over into the road, basically blocked.
Yep.
Yeah, last night. So it's not just there, but I was on Fairview the other day, which is just off of Farmers Mills, and somebody had planted it there, and it's growing like crazy. So just remember that if you plant bamboo, be responsible to contain it. I don't know what the law is about it. Is it an invasive species? I don't know. Are you allowed to plant it? But those are all questions for some other time.
It takes
but-
over.
Yeah. Be responsible.
When the panda bears come in, it's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, I have two things. Number one is we were getting audited by the state, and we were paying I was paying my shotgun riders in the snowstorms below minimum wage. I didn't realize it was raised. So what I did was I had 4 different levels for the seasonal workers. I condensed them to 3. Because the 4 wasn't making sense. And usually, like if I get a kid the first year for the summer, you know, they're newbies, and you got to teach them everything. And then as they, you know, if they stay with us for 4 or 5 years till they're out of college, they're pretty good. So I just figured would make the resolution level 1 would be the minimum wage, whatever it is, and $3 more for level 2 and $6 more for level 3. Like I have a couple college kids now that they can rake blacktops. They can, you know, they're like having a full-time guy there. So, and it's still lower. The highest value is still lower than what a sub on the garbage trucks get. The garbage trucks get almost $23 an hour, and all they're doing is slinging garbage. They're not doing, you know, putting equipment on trailers or anything like that. So, this way, I don't have to come back to you every year. We just base the index on whatever the prevailing wage is. Then we'll just keep this ratio. And that's my
So what you're
first one.
saying is whatever the required minimum wage is, it'll go up, what would you?
Proportionally.
Yeah, proportionally from the scale, what was the scale, $3 higher each one?
Three
For the
and
middle
six
one,
here.
And then 3 for the next year up, or at your
Yes.
discretion, if you don't feel that they've improved, you can keep them at the
Yes.
second scale. It's not automatic, if you come back, you're getting it. You
no, not at all. You got to be able to, you know, to,
are seated. Okay, thank you.
that's number one.
Well,
You have
let's,
to approve that first?
well, let's just do one at a time, that way.
Okay.
Is everyone good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
We had passed this for you
So-
before.
Yeah.
You're just raising it because the
I
minimum
put
wage is.
numbers in it
up.
though, and the numbers are going to change, so.
We're amending it from March 21st, 2023.
Okay.
And I wouldn't have picked up if the auditors didn't pick up on it.
I've read a bunch. Somebody else want to read
I
it?
got it. Make a motion to adopt a resolution setting a pay scale for seasonal workers for the Highway Department. Whereas by resolution dated March 21st, 2023, the Town of Kent set a salary scale for the Town of Kent Highway Department seasonal workers. And whereas Richard Othmer, the Town of Kent Highway Superintendent, has requested to amend the seasonal employee pay scale as provided on the Town of Kent Highway Department summer/winter seasonal worker pay scale annexed hereto and incorporated herein by reference. And whereas the town board believes it is the best interest of the town to accept the highway superintendent's recommendation, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby amends the pay scale for seasonal workers for the Town of Kent Highway Department as further described on the pay scale annexed hereto. Be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
A question on this, I mean, this is in direct reference to the highway department, seasonal workers. Does it affect our parks? No?
We just did this for highway. So no.
And then
Okay.
what was the other one?
Well, Rich has more, so. Next.
The next one is the funding resolution for the New York State DOT for the East Boyd's Bridge. It's standard operating procedure that, with the Bridge New York grants, that we lay the money out and then Yulia, not Christine, bills the state and they reimburse us as each section is done. So our engineers, Barton and Lejudas, still send me a payment voucher. We pay them and then we send the payment voucher to the state and we get reimbursed for it. So this is part of the paperwork. You've done it 3 times already. And the other good thing is we laid out to Inside Engineering, with the 4 Bridge New York grants, we laid out $49,000 and change for all 4 grants to have the engineering work done, to put the applications in. And if we did not get the grants, that money's gone forever. But being that we got the grants, we're going to put in now for the reimbursement from the 4 bridges for $49,000. So that's coming up next week or the week after with Yulia and Christine. So that's money and you guys paid for that out of the capital fund. So,
Okay.
and
If you could.
This is a bridge, not the dam, any work around the dam, on Seven Hills,
yeah, no, this is Seven Hills outlet.
an outlet. Because,
Seven Hills drains into Nenham and East Boyd's.
right, because 2 years ago, they were going to make a deal with DEP, owns half their dam, and they were gonna fix something downstream.
No, that's a whole different
So
animal.
it's a different.
This is when it flows out of the dam, it goes down that stream.
Okay.
And then comes first under Nenham, and then it goes right into.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't the same thing, because they never finished that deal that they were making with the.
Yeah,
dam.
that's not me at all. I
Okay,
don't know.
just making sure, because it seems like we're putting out a lot of money, and I hope we get it back.
Susan Kotzer, Town of Kent. It says East Boyd's Road, Seven Hills Lake Outlet Culvert Replacement. I don't see, I think I've read this a couple times. I don't see where it says bridge anyplace. It just says a culvert. So if I could use some really good clarification on this, that would help me. And there were some dates, I thought. Anyway, if I could have some clarification, is this the bridge or just a culvert replacement?
It's semantics, it's interchangeable, the bridge/culvert. No, it's not.
Well, I think there's a big
There's
difference.
a, there's a,
Semantics, you said?
Like, you can put a concrete culvert in and use it as a bridge over a stream. But
No,
let Richie
it's,
explain
So
this.
which is it gonna be?
if the span is under 20 feet, it's termed by DOT as a culvert. If it's over, and the town owns it, if it's over 20 feet, it's considered a bridge, and the county's in charge of it. This is a culvert, they call it a culvert even though it is a bridge. And they, what's the engineering term? A bridge is a road going over a stream, and a culvert is a stream going under a road. That's an engineering term.
Okay.
But it's qualifies
It's
for
a
bridge.
bridge, but it's-
They could
it's
call it Bridge New
officially-
York or Culvert New York, the funding is all the same. It's-
It's the funny, if it's under 20 feet, actually, it's a
So
good,
how much under 20 feet is it? Is it 19 feet?
I don't have the facts with me, but I believe this one of them, when they're done, is gonna be, or maybe that might be Sagamore, is actually gonna be 32 feet. So it's gonna transform from a culvert into a bridge.
That one's longer.
Well, it's not long, no, that's only 15 feet, if I remember right, Sagamore, but it's gonna be a lot wider because the outlet's not wide enough. It's similar to the Lake Carmel Dam. When the water goes under the bridge, it's too narrow and there's too much hydraulic pressure and it's blowing everything out. It's blowing the sidewalls out, so they're gonna make a larger opening on Sagamore so the water won't be as intense all the time.
Yeah. Slows the velocity, slows
Yeah.
the scouring, yeah.
But that's the answer, so. Did I was like, all right. Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
Good.
Yep, just to go over.
It's a long one.
It's a long
Yep.
one, too,
Nope, I think I
front
have
and
to read
back.
it.
Take a sip of water first.
All right. So I make a motion for a resolution approving Bridge New York funding and implementation, Town of Kent. Whereas a project for the East Boyds Road, Seven Hills Lakes Culvert Replacement, Town of Kent, Putnam County, PIN number 876.3.67, known as the project, is eligible for reimbursement of qualified costs for the Bridge New York funding that calls for the post-reimbursement of qualified costs be borne at the ratio of 100% Bridge New York funds and 0% non-Bridge New York funds. And whereas the Town of Kent will design, let, and administer all phases of the project, and yes, this let doesn't lead. So whereas the Town of Kent desires to advance the project by making a commitment of 100% of the cost of primary design, detailed design, ROW-I, ROW-A, construction and construction inspection work for the project or portions thereof. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Kent duly convened does hereby approve the project. And be it further resolved that the Town of Kent Board hereby authorize the Town of Kent to pay 100% preliminary design, detailed design, ROW-I, ROW-A, construction and construction inspection work for the project or portions thereof, with the understanding that the qualified costs will be reimbursed from Bridge New York funding. And be it further resolved that the sum of $1,258,000 is hereby apportioned from the Town of Kent General Fund and made available to cover the cost of participation in the above phase of the project. And be it further resolved that the Town Kent Board hereby agrees that the Town of Kent shall be responsible for all costs of the project, including costs which exceed the amount of reimbursement available from the New York Bridge Funding Award to the Town of Kent. And be it further resolved that in the event the costs of the projects exceed the amount appropriated above, the Kent Town Board shall convene as soon as possible to appropriate said excess amount immediately upon the notification of the supervisor thereof. And be it further resolved that the Kent Town Board be hereby agrees that the Town of Kent hereby commits that construction of the project shall begin no later than 24 months after their award and construction phase of all projects shall be completed within 30 months. And be it further resolved that Kent Highway Superintendent Richard T. Othmer Jr. be and is hereby authorized to execute all necessary agreements, certifications, or reimbursement requests with New York State DOT for state aid and/or Bridge New York funding on behalf of the town of Kent in connection with the advancement or approval of the project and providing for the administration of the project and the municipality's funding of the project cost. And be it further resolved that the town of Kent will be responsible for all maintenance of the project. And be it further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be filed with the New York State Commissioner of Transportation by attaching it to any necessary agreement in connection with the project. And be it further resolved that this resolution shall take effect immediately. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to add an item to highway
Second.
for MEO. All in favor?
Aye.
You want to advertise for MEO, for an MEO, correct?
Yes, that's all for now.
Okay, so we're just going to make a motion to have our town clerk, Yolanda DiCapelli, advertise for MEOs for highway.
Second. You may.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Who did the second?
I think
did.
Ann, oh,
Oh, yeah,
I thought it was Ann, but.
I just wanted to, I have other positions to advertise for, but I'm holding off until
yeah.
everything else is done. The
Did you
contracts
want
are all
MEO
done.
though, or no?
Excuse me?
Did you want MEO?
That's the only position I can hire
Okay,
right now.
okay,
Otherwise,
so then we're
I'm
good.
waiting.
And then I'm also going to add another item. I got the letter from Matt Kiernan, from the two of you who worked on it together for the transfer of the vehicle to recreation.
Yes,
I'll read it. So, so this is from Matt Kiernan, our chief mechanic. The Town of Kent Recreation Department is in possession of a 2008 Chevy Uplander. The vehicle is no longer fit for service due to mechanical and structural repairs needed that far outreach the value of the vehicle. It is my opinion that this vehicle should be auctioned or scrapped, whichever yields greatest value. Kent Police Department has a retired 2019 Ford Police Interceptor utility vehicle that was set to be transferred to the Highway Department. Seeing as recreation's needs is greater than ours at this time, Richard Othmer and I agree that this vehicle should be transferred to the Recreation Department. This would allow for a seamless transition and incur very little expense to the town. So I'm asking to do that tonight because the van is done.
that's fine. Yeah, well, I have the one car that Kevin gave us, and
Mm-hmm.
it makes sense.
But then the rec van can't be driven anymore. It's done. So, is, any comments on that?
Sounds like a good plan.
Okay, I make a motion to transfer the 2019 Police Ford Interceptor that was set to be transferred to the highway over to recreation. Make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Do we need a motion to auction off the other one?
We actually have a
Wait,
resolution for this one.
Next, we're gonna go to the police department, but do we have a resolution for this? We have the resolution for,
I didn't get that.
I don't have a resolution.
you don't have
That
this
one I
letter?
actually
I
have.
have the letter, but I don't have the resolution.
No, that's the one you just
Can I have
Right.
the details on that other car?
The one that we're transferring over, that's all the information you need.
Thank you.
It has the VIN and everything.
Is this for the auction one? Or?
Yeah, it's for both, for the
Oh.
transfer and the auction.
So then, our other,
This was the full resolution for the vote for the transfer?
I'm sorry, I don't have that one, that's why I
All right,
wasn't sure.
I'm
But
gonna
wait,
read
wait,
it.
hold on. Because it has this in it, correct? Let me see, here. I don't have that resolution, so let me just see. The transfer,
So we're looking at a,
It must have been the way I emailed things. I had-
2000.
okay, so I did that already. So now this is a different one.
Yeah, I can see it in there.
Okay.
Happens.
Okay, all right. Good, now we'll move on to I have other vehicles that have to be auctioned off.
okay.
Okay, so our next item is for the police department. We have a letter from our police chief, Kevin Owens, asking us, saying, after speaking with Sergeant Ryan Pekarski, who is the officer in charge of vehicles for KPD, and chief mechanic Matt Kiernan, it was determined that the following Kent Police vehicles could or should be offered for auction: a 2014 Ford Taurus and a 2015 Ford Explorer. They're past their serviceable use of life for our PD. So I'm asking tonight for us to authorize going out to auction for those two vehicles.
Okay.
Are we gonna put in the proviso that if we could get more for scrap than auction, we'd
I
do
mean,
that?
yeah, we can, but,
It's in the resolution.
Oh, I didn't realize you had one, I didn't, great.
you don't have one?
I don't have.
It's not in your package, but
Yeah.
I have one.
Nancy provided Jamie with one.
Okay.
And no, that's for the
All right,
police vehicles. This is the other one.
okay, this is the right one. I make a motion to pass a resolution for authorization to offer items for sale through Auctions International, Inc., whereas by letter dated February 24th, 2025, Chief Kevin Owens has requested the town board authorize Matt Kieran, Chief Mechanic of Municipal Repairs, to dispose of the following 2 police vehicles that have passed their useful life: a 2014 Ford Taurus, serial number 1FAHP2MK1EG182978, and a 2015 Ford Explorer 1FM5K8ARXGGB13009, herein collectively referred to as the vehicles, and whereas the town board wishes to authorize Municipal Repairs to use the services of Auctions International, Inc., to offer the vehicles for sale to third parties, or if there is no purchasers, to scrap the vehicles in exchange for its metal value. Now therefore be resolved, the town board of the town of Kent authorizes Municipal Repairs to offer the vehicles for sale through Auctions International, and be it further resolved that if the offer of sale through Auctions International results in no sale of the vehicles, Municipal Repairs is authorized to scrap the vehicles for its metal value. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And give both those back to Nancy.
Okay. Our next item is from our town clerk, Yolanda DiCapelli, asking us to appoint a deputy town clerk 2 to her office. She's asking us to appoint Susan Gata, with a start date of March 18, 2025, at a salary of $53,000 per year.
Okay.
Any comments?
And this is to fill a vacancy.
This is the vacancy that's been there since just,
End of December?
I know.
All right.
So,
All right. Ann, you want to do it?
Sure. I make a motion to adopt a resolution for the appointment of Deputy Town Clerk 2. Whereas there is currently a vacancy in the position of Deputy Town Clerk 2, and whereas by letter dated March 7, 2025, Yolanda Capelli, Town Clerk, has recommended the appointment of Susan Gata as Deputy Town Clerk 2, effective as of March 18, 2025, with an annual salary of $53,000. And whereas the Town Board wishes to acknowledge the appointment by Town Clerk Capelli and accept the salary and effective date of recommendation, now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Kent hereby appoints Susan Gata as Deputy Town Clerk 2, effective as of March 18th, 2025, with an annual salary of $53,000. I make that motion.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. You're up.
You still want to do the grant thing?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes.
I make a motion to add an item to the agenda
lost my
for a grant application.
Sorry. Second,
Yeah, but I have some.
all in favor?
Aye. So last year we applied to T-Mobile. It's a $50,000 grant with no match for renovation of spaces to make them more usable by the community. And we had applied to contribute that funding towards the renovation of the old town hall building with the kitchen, which would be adjacent to the food pantry and the community space down there. We would like to go ahead and resubmit that application for this year. So I'm looking for a motion on that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And also, Richie, I think I need to have some conversation with you about this, but we're looking at the EFC opportunity for green infrastructure grants. And one of the things that we're considering is whether it does allow for climate resilience, whether we could somehow work in the Lake Louise Dam strengthening as part of that. So we're trying to get word on that from the sponsor. Vac trucks are not covered. That was one of the things we had thought about. Unfortunately, they're not covered on that RFP. So there'll be more discussion on that as we learn more about possible opportunities. And I think it would be great if we could also see if there's some kind of major stormwater project or something that could be funded under this. It's mostly, this opportunity is mostly about water, but there are multiple different facets. So, to be continued. Just wanted to give you all an update.
Great, thank you.
Oh, one more. Congressional funding, actually, right now it's through the Senate as congressionally directed spending. We could apply to try to get additional funds for the repair of the Lake Carmel Dam. As you know, originally congressional funding gave us the 1.3 million or so for the engineering work on the dam, and we then were awarded 2.5 million through the Water Quality Improvement Program from NYSDEC, but the repair is going to be substantially more than that 2.5 million. So we're still looking for sources, and so I would like to move that we go ahead and apply. It's due the end of this month. To the congressionally directed funding program through Senator Gillibrand to try to get additional funding for the Lake Carmel Dam. I make that motion.
Second, but just for clarification, we still have that application in. We haven't been denied last year's application on that, correct? The way I read that is it's still, what we applied for is still there. They haven't awarded.
That
but
is
they're
interesting.
recommending to us to apply again just in case we aren't
Yes.
awarded. So we're
Yes.
putting an application in for the year after. But
Right,
we
and
still
we're-
could get last year's award once it's awarded.
That is true. And
Okay.
we are updating the application with newer information from Schnabel Engineering about what the actual costs are going to be, because now they're doing the design work, so they're starting to have more clarity about the costs involved.
Okay.
So you second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
Ready?
Now.
This is a long list. I ask the board to approve the following vouchers from March 11th, 2025 that are over the threshold. Appalachia, 14,185,086, I'm sorry, let me start over. $14,185.86 for highway salt. Appalachia, $17,014.65 for highway salt. Appalachia, $24,920.45 for highway salt. Harbor Master Training, Inc., $11,200 for the balance due for highway work from January 25th. Barton and LaJudas, $2,600 for the community center renovation project. It's not the Lake Carmel Community Center, that's the, what we're calling the Town Hall
The Town
Annex.
Hall Annex.
Right. And Barton and LaJudas, $7,815 for the Town Hall Annex renovation project. Semco Water, $5,835 for the monthly Kent Water District Number 1. Semco Water, $22,013 for the monthly Kent Water District Number 2. Civic Plus LLC, $3,803.63 for recreation app. Cornerstone Appraisal, $2,500 for stormwater management from February 25th. Department of Civil Services, $271,284.43 for employee benefits for the state of New York. Facilities Maintenance, $3,525 for contract cleaning from February 25th. GAR Associates LLC, $12,000 for contract assessment January 25th. GAR Associates LLC, $12,000 for contract assessment from February 20. Did I skip? I think I said.
One was January.
Yeah, the first one was January 25th, that one's February 25th. GenServe LLC, $5,270 for annual A Service 7 locations. Hogan, Rossi, and Liguori, $5,416.63 for the February 25th retainer. Hogan and Rossi and Liguori, $5,416.63 for the March 25th retainer. Magnified, $7,539.25 for the contract for the server for March 25th. Managed Technologies, $2,769.24 for IT support from February 24th through March 9th of 2025. Medical Warehouse, $2,211.09 for EMS supplies. Medicare reimbursements, $35,335 for the first quarter. Metro Ford, $52,982 for Kent PD 2024 Ford purchase with grant. NYSEG, $2,497.82 for Kent PD service from January 22nd through February 29th of 2025. Office of State Comptroller, $16,801 for January 2025 Justice Court Fund. Pitney Bowes Reserve Account, $3,000 for Town Hall postage. Ring Squared, $3,912.27 for March 2025. Laura Roberts, $3,016 for the Town Prosecutor for February 25th. Legio Corporation, $10,044.04 for municipal repairs. Romer Wallens Gold and Manu LLP, $2,304 for attorneys for the Teamsters contract. Rhoda Soka and Andrews, $2,276.50 for engineers for Morrow Equipment Corporation. Specialized Vehicle Uplifting, Inc., $4,997.10 for Kent PD Uplifting for a 2024 Ford Lightning. Thunder Ridge Ski Area, $8,178 for Recreation Department 6-week ski lessons. Transaxle LLC, $2,545 for municipal repairs. Wind Waste Innovations, $6,897.05 for Lake Carmel garbage. Wind Waste Innovations, $6,446.18 for Lake Carmel garbage. We're adding Royal Karting, $4,218.72 for recycling. And these next two vouchers are left over from 2024. Barton of the Judas DPC, $3,760 for the Town Hall Annex building renovation. Van de Water and Van de Water LLP, $2,162. And I have no clue what it's for because it doesn't tell me.
I think that's for planning.
For planning? For the planning department. I ask the board to approve as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Got
Okay.
tongue-tied tonight, tongue twisted.
All right, we have lots of events going on. Coming up on Saturday, April 12th is our annual Easter egg hunt. Sign up online. We have a 10:30 spot, 11:30, and 12:30. Then for spring break this year, we're offering a bunch of different camps to sign up, full day and half day. We have multi-sport camp, volleyball camp. We also are offering it for younger kids for ages 2 to 5. April 22nd to May 27th for, what is this, multi-sports. We have middle school and high school 4-on-4 beach volleyball that you can sign up for, and volleyball clinics starting April 26th. So lots of things going on in Kent Rec. Check out the website for more information.
See how she holds that up right in front of my face, not in front of Jordan's over there?
I got a big
It's on
head, it
purpose.
probably wouldn't cover it up.
And that's all I have. Anne, I know you have some.
There's so much going on at the library, I don't know where to begin. I'll say there's some great things for adults right now. There's a book club. They're going to be talking about the Agatha Christie murder of Roger Ackroyd, and that's on March 18th at 5. They're doing help with tax preparation at the library. They still have tech support. They have an introduction to Medicare on the 22nd of March, Saturday at 10:30 a.m., and also college process for parents that are trying to navigate that, March 29th, 1:30, and lots more teen stuff, kids stuff, so please do check out the library website. Thank you.
Any other announcements?
Yeah, can I make a motion to congratulate Jamie McGlasson on giving birth to a beautiful baby girl on Friday?
Thank you,
I don't
thank
think you
you.
need to make a
Do
motion.
I get a second there?
Second that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Actually, I do have one. Putnam County Health Department is offering their free rabies clinic on March 22nd at Putnam County Veterans Memorial Park. You can go on their
Why did my baby remind you of the rabies vaccine?
Don't even want to know.
All right, any public comment? I did. Okay. We'll just go row by row, and so, I'm just telling the lady behind you.
So, good evening. My name is Anne-Marie Considine, and my daughter passed away in 2018 and is buried up at Raymond Hill Cemetery. On February 25th, somebody drove through that cemetery between the hours of 2 and 4 and took down the headstone in front of my daughter's headstone. My mother passed away in August. If that headstone would have been in, it would have been destroyed. My daughter's headstone was made out of all marble. Those gates do not lock at night, and from what I understand, the chairman of the board, the Honorable Justice Dushkoff, he knows all about this. This is brought before the board before, and they were told, from what I understand, that the lowest bid they got was $35,000 to lock those gates at night. The 2 cameras that are in the front of that building do not work. So what I want to know from this board is, why are you so resistant to locking those gates at night that anybody can come in and out anytime they want and cause vandalism, number one?
Listen, I'm so sorry, that's terrible that happened, but unfortunately, Raymond Hill Cemetery is not in the town of Kent, it's in the town of Carmel.
Right, but the
So-
chairman of the board is here, and that's where they told me to
No,
come.
the chairman of the board happens to be one of our judges.
That's correct.
But that has nothing to do with the town of Kent.
But from what I understand from the cemetery, from the director, that this has been brought to the board's attention.
It's never been brought to this board's attention. It could have been brought to the town of Carmel's attention, the town board.
was
Probably
okay.
the cemetery board.
Yeah.
Don't
Yes,
they
we're
have-
the
they-
cemetery
They have their
board, but
own
not-
board,
Yeah,
a cemetery
it's a
board.
private cemetery.
Oh, it's I'm
so-
sorry, but it is in the town
Yeah,
of Carmel.
It's
It's in
within
the
the
town of
town of
Carmel.
Carmel, yeah, so this board
Yes,
doesn't have
Kathy?
any jurisdiction over it or anything to do with it. Was that?
So wait a second, if the board doesn't have any decision over it, and the Honorable Judge Duskoff is the chairman of the board, and he's in the town of Kent, yet he
So-
is.
He lives in the town and he
I
happens to
understand
be one
that.
of our justices, but it has nothing to do with us with the cemetery. The cemetery is private. It has nothing to do with
He's
us.
on their board as a private citizen.
My son's buried there too, okay?
Okay,
But I've gone in front of Kevin, but you have to go, they have a public meeting, I believe it's in June, it's usually in the paper, they have to list it when they're having their public hearings, and you go in front of that board.
I'm not
It has nothing to do with this town. I had issues too, but you have to go to that board or make an appointment to see them, but you can't, there's nothing the town can do, just like you know.
do you have a number for that? Because I'm not waiting till June, and I'll tell you why. If it can happen to me, okay, and my daughter's headstone can be taken down, it can happen to anybody.
Believe me, I know how upset you can get. I'll look up the number for you right now, okay?
Thank you, Kathy.
Kathy, where do they meet? You said they meet in
Right
June?
there at the cemetery,
Oh, they do?
there's an office right there.
All right.
Dennis's office.
At the what?
Dennis's
Yeah,
office?
Dennis's office, yes, I believe you said dentist. Dennis, yes, Dennis's office, yes, they meet there, and like I said, they put it in the paper, that's when I went,
Right.
you know.
And I was told by Dennis himself that Kevin is the one that makes the final decision.
Right.
Because he's on board.
Right.
And this has been brought up before.
Right.
And the lowest bid that he got was $35,000. And the chairman of the board, again, refused. So.
Right, but Kevin as judge here has nothing to do with Kevin as chairman over there, just so that you know that. But I'll go get that number for you.
I'd like that number, please.
Okay.
Because those gates shouldn't be open like that all night. Anybody can come, if they can do it to me, they can do it to anybody else.
You know, unfortunately, we like we said, we
Like I
have, you know,
said,
we have
and I'll
not, we
take
have.
the number from
so-
her, that's perfectly fine.
And just because, like Kathy said, he's on that board, it has nothing to do with us here. We all sit on other boards as well, you know, we're all volunteers for other things, and it has nothing to do with the town, so.
See, because that's what they told me, that I needed to come to the town board meeting.
They probably said, maybe they said board meeting,
They said-
their
they said
board
here.
meeting. Okay,
No,
well,
they said here, they said
They
because,
certainly, big mistake on that part, because this.
because I don't know where they got the bid from, but they got a bid for $35,000 to lock those gates tonight. And it was refused by the chairman of the board, the Honorable Judge Duskoff.
That's the cemetery board, not the town of Kent board.
See, he sent us, he told me to come here.
He made a mistake, that was wrong.
Yeah, you
It's
got
not even in
misdirected.
this
I'm
town.
so sorry. But Kathy has some information so you can follow up with the right
Perfect.
board.
So that this way I can call them, make an appointment.
Yep.
And find out from them why those gates are
Yes.
not locked tonight and why those cameras don't work.
Best of luck to you.
Yeah,
I hope you
sorry.
get that resolved.
Yeah, let us know how
here, I
it
have a
goes.
pen.
I will let you know how.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. We're sorry, we're
Kenny,
very
you need a
sorry
piece of
that that
paper?
happened, we're sorry for your loss.
Kenny, you need a
And
piece of paper?
congratulations on your baby.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, how are everyone? And are you from the library? I just heard you talking from the library. I'm going to present, but I'm asking because I think I spoke to you today. If you're the library
Oh, no,
Oh,
so
she's
no,
the
there's another
liaison.
Ann at the library.
Oh, because she was representing the library and I spoke to her on the phone. I got so excited.
Different Ann.
Well,
Different
I will
Ann.
She's the
explain.
town board liaison.
I'm too on bad names tonight.
I am the liaison to the library, but yes, there is another
Ann
Ann
helped me
who was
greatly
the acting
today and I
director.
thought it was you.
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. My name is Courtney Aponte, and I am here tonight to present to all of you some things in regard that I have a concern about our town of Kent. I've been here for 21 years. We do not, while we have a primary dog control contract, we as the town do not have a secondary contract for dog control. What does that mean? That means that while you have a dog that is running at large or found stray, will go to the Carmel Animal Hospital, which you are currently contracting with. But after 7 days, which is really the allotted 10, there is nowhere for that dog to go if it is not claimed by their owner. And this is my concern, that our town does not have a secondary contract. I did go on my own. In Putnam County, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 neighboring towns, all of which do have secondary contracts or primary contracts, which encompasses what I'm talking about. And when a dog is not claimed, it is has to get vetted and put up for adoption. Maybe an assessment, behavioral assessment may have to happen, so on and so forth. And there is no one in place to do such a thing. Once the dog leaves Jack's, it doesn't have anywhere to go. And our lovely dog control officer, Mary, who I love and adore and have known for many years, takes this upon herself to try to do this job. In the last year, 2024, there were 15 unclaimed dogs. 3 came from the SPCA, which is a whole separate issue. I'm not gonna bring that to your attention at this time. Those dogs also need placement. Out of that, that leaves you with, what did I say? 5. Sorry, I lost track. So those 5 dogs, Mary would then, could be Mary, could be any DCO officer that you have, would then have to make flyers, reach out to rescues on her own, possibly take a dog home, reach out to her resources and connection to try to get that dog some help. And the reason why I bring this to all of you is that that's kind of a yearly thing for Kent. It's about 15 dogs or so. And as a resident, I'm a real animal lover, and I don't think euthanasia should be on the table because an animal doesn't have anywhere to go. If you look at the other towns surrounding, we kind of match up with Patterson. And the reason why I point them out is because they have Brook Farm Vet, so we have Carmel Vet, but they have a secondary contract with the Putnam Humane Society for about $5,000. Once the dog is not claimed at Brook Farm, it will then go to the Putnam Humane Society, and it's like a one-stop shop. The dog will be there, be taken care of, be put up for adoption, be vetted, medically, access to dog training, access to volunteers, so on and so forth. So we do not have that in place, and I wanted to bring it to your attention as a community member. And I was here long ago when our contract, we're the lowest contract, by the way, but again, we don't have a secondary. I know we're a smaller town than perhaps Carmel and Mayapack combined, which is a larger area, but I just wanted to bring it to you. I find it very valuable. I hope you consider it, and I think it's really important. Do you have any questions for me, or how do I go?
I would request that you give us something in writing. You know,
Okay.
I think I understand
Such as
everything you're
this?
saying, but, you know, you said a lot
I
of
just pulled
numbers.
this out off. I'm sorry,
But,
go ahead,
you know,
yes.
write up what you're looking for. You obviously did your homework, you did your facts, so put the numbers in there and the charts of the other towns and the costs, certainly the costs too.
I have that here, I brought copies.
Okay.
But I'll be happy to, I'm not looking for anything tonight other than to be heard. And I really am passionate about, you know, saying that while it is a cost to us as a town, I just do not want to see dogs' lives, and I say dogs because we don't contract for cats. Well, it's a big problem in general anyway. But I just don't want to see their lives hang in the balance. If you did not have a dog control officer like Mary, maybe that person might be quick to be like, okay, we have nowhere for this animal to go. You know, we must euthanize. I don't believe that should be us as a town. So I do have this for you. These are the costs. It's a breakdown of the personal services, the contract. I am not suggesting to you, Putnam Humane Society, you would have to have that right price and deal with the board over there, obviously, but they are a great facility close to us within our community, so we're supporting within our community. And I think that a deal could be struck, but I don't know that. I can't speak for them. Again, they do everything. If it wouldn't be them, the town would have to look for someone else that could do those kinds of things, because we do not have a facility here. Putt Valley has a small facility, but they don't really have staffing for it, and it's manual labor to do all that. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Thank you. I appreciate you hearing. Can I ask one thing? I'm gonna leave this. Do you need?
To the clerk.
Can I ask you, how do I follow through with this? Find out.
First, if you give it to Lana, she's the town clerk, she will make sure it gets circulated to the whole board.
Yes, this.
Right, yes, and
Does
then,
it have your contact information if we have additional questions on there? Is it on there?
No, I didn't.
can you put it on, can you just write it on there?
Contact information.
Because we're also gonna I'll have to talk to Mary as well, and she
Yes.
is wonderful.
She's amazing.
We're very fortunate.
I'm not here to say anything bad in regard to Jack Kovitz does a lot of veterinary work for you that he probably doesn't charge you for.
Nikita.
So, you know, my feeling is let's get a place for them to go afterwards.
Okay.
How do I follow through? Just you guys get back to me, you
Come to another
email
meeting.
me, you talk about it in an agenda after you talk to Mary. I just like to know what happens.
Sure, stop by to another meeting and ask, we'll tell you. Say some people attend. Thank you for going.
Wait, I'm sorry, it's to come back to another
Yeah,
meeting?
yeah.
It gets on your agenda? Is this what you're
Well,
saying?
I have to talk to Mary about it
Yeah.
before we,
We have to do a little more homework on it, and then we'll get it on an agenda for a public discussion.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Thank you for listening.
are you on the email list for the agendas?
No.
Is,
I'm going to tell you.
okay, if you just put if your email address is on there, I can add it to my contact list, and then when I send out the agendas, you'll get it, and you'll be able to see every meeting what's on the agenda.
Yes.
Okay?
I thank you. Thank you for listening.
Okay. Yep.
Probably explains when Michael.
I was just wondering when we were going to have a meeting with Barton and LaJudas for the sewer district?
I think as soon as something begins to move on it, realistically.
Because I thought in the letter it had said that they were having, the kickoff meeting and then, that there's been nothing?
We're still trying to put some information together with previous studies that have been done, for the lake, Palmer Lake, where that $35 million, of monies that were given from the DEP to the DEC, and actually got me some information. We're trying to follow up with it.
But this is not that.
It's not, but if we do the study and we have no money, then the study goes this way. If we have $35 million for monies for sewer, plants, so forth and so on, the study goes in a different direction. So trying to nail down what grant monies are potentially could come to us in the near future before starting.
Okay, but that was a specific proposal that you hired them for, and it had nothing to do with that 35 million.
No, it has nothing to do with the $35 million, other than
So I'm
if we
confused.
have $35 million to spend, it would be different than having no money to spend. Right? So if you're
Who's
gonna
on
make,
first?
I don't know, who's on third?
No, what I'm saying is that you hired Barton and LaJudas to study something for the Kent Sewer District.
Correct.
Okay. it said in there was going to be a kickoff meeting. It didn't say anything about the 35 million.
It didn't say anything, that's me. I want to give them as much information as possible so they can make any potential decision or not a decision.
Recommendations.
Yes,
Recommendations.
to point us in the right direction.
But
So-
nevertheless, Sean, we clearly want them to move ahead on this. We do have a grant timeline with them.
Right,
and
that's- you
what
told
we
me
do
last
know
time.
about the 35 million is that it seems as though they have made a contract now with Nuipic to administer that program, but we're not going to start hearing much about exactly how that's going to run until June. And I'm hoping that B&L is going to have that kickoff meeting way before then.
So what grant timing, this is paid for, the 35,000, right? So there's no timing on it?
No, but they were talking about submitting a grant as part of that project, if you look at the proposal they gave us. And
To
so-
pay for the 35,000?
35 million.
No, completely
But
unrelated.
the 35
Barton-
million
She's-
is, but the whole thing, Sean, is that DEP is not going to allow another sewer plant. And then they only allowed us to have a certain amount of flow. So even if you thought you could extend it, where are you going to put that flow?
All good questions. Yeah.
Okay.
And we're mixing, again, the two projects.
Right.
One project is $35 million for Lake Carmel that the DEP, and $5 million for
Well, 5
Palmer
million
Lake,
for
to just for Lake Carmel. And it says specifically for sewer treatment plant. Basically, remember the old idea that Lake Carmel could be entirely done
Yes.
on,
Yes.
for a sewer plant? Well, basically, that's what it says. And we can get into it, I'll talk to you, because we'll kill a ton of time. And it's, I say, we'd have enough time to talk about it from a cruise here to the Horn of Africa. We couldn't discuss the whole entire thing, And, but the point is that I'd like to know what monies we can get, 35 million to the side, as compared to the 35,000 we're spending on the study with Barton LaJudas to give us some insight on the district. So it'll make a big difference on whether we have money or don't have money on how they're going to do the write-up for it.
Okay, I still think you're mixing two things
I
together.
think the
That
quick
should-
answer to your question is there's no date for the startup meeting. set.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you,
Could have answered
Chris.
that quick.
And you said that you wanted to meet to go over the agreements that you were confused of, so I haven't heard, so I just,
I was away.
okay,
I'm back.
okay. I'm around. Okay, thanks, Nancy.
So who's kind of managing that project right now on the board? Because we should request that we get that meeting scheduled.
Who's responsible for giving us the 35 million?
No, I'm not talking about that.
No, I know what you're asking, I'm just asking a question of your question.
Well, that's a rhetorical question, but we know that
No, I'm
that.
not rhetorical. Your question rhetorical? Mine wasn't. I'm asking you. So with that other company, where did you get the idea that NEWIPP or whatever the name is?
Nuipic, that's information that I had received from, it was David Warren at DEC. I think now there's somebody else who's just taken it over.
New York City DEP.
Yeah, DEP. Yeah, DEC allocated the funds to DEP. That was the contract that you got the copy of.
Yeah.
And originally it was supposed to start last year, and they told us they were negotiating with Nuipic to administer the program. It's not just for us. I think it was over $200 million overall for this region. And at this point, the negotiations kind of got stalled, an attorney left, but now they are figuring out that contract with Nuipic. And they said they would be in touch with us probably in June about some preliminary meetings, informational meetings about that program.
And that's
See-
after the grant is
And they're getting, somebody's pulling 7 million off the top of that to run that program. And I'm just curious, who's getting paid that money?
Where did you get that information, Sean?
Well, read the thing, and it says in there 200 million, and then $193 million will be distributed, with $7 million in operating costs.
Well, presumably that's Nuipic then being paid to administer the program.
Yeah, so how long is it gonna take these guys to figure out to give us the money? And then, going back to what you said, that we're basically been told we'll never be able to build, really in Putnam County, forget the town of Kent, a new sewer plant. So we're basically saying, we're gonna give you $35 million to study and build a new sewer plant. without getting a new sewer plant. So then why give us 30 million?
Wait a
$35
minute,
million
Sean,
for
that's
nothing?
not necessarily the solution that's going to be adopted, and we're really getting way out ahead of ourselves.
Right,
But
and I.
just
The
why-
point
so
is,
that
in
I-
this Barton and LaJudas proposal, there was mention of a grant that they were planning to put in an application for on behalf of the town, and there was a timeline for that, which is something like June. So we're not going to sit on our hands and wait for this $35 million project to be announced
sitting on their
and,
hands waiting to give us
detailed out
$35
for us,
Right.
to have Barton and LaJudas do what we've contracted them to do.
do.
I'm assuming they're going to follow the timeline they gave us, and we're going to make sure that that happens.
And I think the 35 million was going to be run kind of like the septic repair program, where you could get Fuji systems into the failing septics around Lake Carmel. You have 6,800 families, so that's where I think that money was going to go.
Palmer Lake, it says that's for, but not for Lake Carmel. It specifically says
think it was-
sewer plant.
Well, and the reason they were talking about individual septics in Palmer Lake is that Newapic had done a study with the town a number of years ago that suggested that the sewer plant idea was not the most effective fiscally,
so
that it would be
that's-
better to work with individual systems
Right.
around the lake.
Right.
What they're planning to do with Lake Carmel, I don't know, and how that all plays in with DEC
Okay,
regs.
but to mix the
again,
two things right now is just,
yeah, that's three months
Muddying the
out before
waters.
we're even going to
I-
hear about it. So meanwhile, we do want Barton and LaJudas to do what they said they're going to do.
we're going to do.
Yeah. So thank you for bringing that to the forefront.
Just for clarification, we have no control over that at this point. We just wait. That's all we can do. We're
On the
just in a waiting-
on the DEP 35 million,
Yeah,
yes.
We're just in a waiting game for them.
Yes.
We can't do anything.
I'm impatient. I make lots of phone calls and annoy people. I want to know when we're going to get that money. 'cause we
That's
can
not
use
going to
it.
help us, Sean. It's only
No.
going to tick people off.
You can, well, tick people off that's probably why I'm divorced.
Sue Kotzer. I was looking over the Highway Department website, and there's information on there about a salt shed being put up.
A what?
Salt shed?
Ann and I got a grant for a brand-new salt barn.
Okay.
Sorry, Rich, if I get it home.
Give him, let him, or take Lana's microphone. You can use Lana's.
Yeah, Ann and I got a grant for a wooden salt barn. They have a canvas one over there now.
I know, I see it. Is it going in that location?
It has to go in that
It
spot.
has to go in that location. Is that okay with the neighbors on Smoky Hollow Court?
Well, I would rather have a nice wooden barn next to my house than a big tent.
Yeah, will the trees still be there?
It's gonna go in the same exact spot.
So the trees won't be disturbed that are hiding the
Is there
plant?
trees inside the tent right now? Is there trees inside the tent?
Not
right now?
inside, but buffering
But the
it
barn is
from the
going right
The
road.
barn is going right where the tent
It's
is.
going right where the tent is.
Okay.
So it's gonna be more aesthetically pleasing.
And also,
Pleasing to the eye.
Aesthetically pleasing.
and part of the
That's
reason
great. I
to
love it.
part of the reason to build this is to prevent runoff from the
Oh, I
salt pile. And I
understand.
would assume that if the neighbors are getting runoff that's damaging vegetation
No,
on
the
their properties, they
the
will be
neighbors
thrilled.
are uphill. It's
Okay.
the reservoir that's getting the runoff. Okay, thank you. Just curious. On another note, electric bills. So, Town of Carmel is having a representative from NYSEG. You know about this?
So it's not actually the town of Carmel there. Town of Carmel is just holding it there.
Yes, I know.
So, yes,
Do you want to, you can continue with the date and the time?
Yep.
Okay,
Hold on.
great, perfect.
If you give me 1 second.
Is it slated?
Yeah, Matt.
With NYSEG will be there. NYSEG pop-ups with live customer service representatives will be on Wednesday, March 12th, they will be at Yorktown Town Hall from 1 to 3 and 5 to 7. And on Thursday, March 13th, they will be at Carmel Town Hall, 1 to 3 and 5 to 7.
With Assemblyman Slater hosting it, right?
Well, he lit a fire under them to go. So it's NYSEG that will be there, but he's the one that got them to meet.
Yep. They said bring your bill so they can discuss.
So they can explain
what
it
is.
and look at it.
And I think you have an option there to switch back to the old style meters from the day-night meters if you come and request it.
Right, because at this time, the day-night meters are costs more. We're getting charged way more
Yep.
than a standard meter.
Right.
And what's the difference between a standard meter and a smart meter at this point? I don't know either yet.
It's not so
Not
smart.
very smooth.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other public comment?
Can I make one
Nope.
quick comment about the highway garage over here, just for clarification, because Sue asked about the neighbors. That garage over there was given to the town of Kent in 1937 by the Townsend family, and it's kind of like the contract that the courthouse has in Carmel, where the town can never sell it, and it reverts back to the heirs of the family. And when it was built, there was nothing there. It was just the Townsend family. And we have it, we got it free of charge. I have the deeds, and that's the history of that. So, in my opinion, anyone that moves in afterwards or builds a house next to it, you know, it's not like the garage was built afterwards. So, you know, if you build your house next to an airport, you know, you're going to see airplanes.
Thank you.
Hi there. This is in reference to the vouchers that came across the table earlier. There was one that was for the last month's electricity bill for the police department. Since we're talking about NICEAG and these charges being kind of irregular, is there any discrepancy that you guys have noticed between that bill, maybe last year's bill, or the preceding month's bill?
No, they've been pretty
They're consistent around that?
consistent, unfortunately,
Around that
yes.
$2,000 mark per month?
I don't remember exactly, but the police department tends to have, sorry, Kevin, the largest electric bill because they're there 24/7. But it's been consistent.
Yeah, that makes
Not
sense.
like some of the fluctuations that we've seen with residents and everything. That's been, maybe we don't have a smart meter over there? No, maybe that's why.
Don't get one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Very good.
Ray, town of Kent, fairly new, my family's new. First thing, I don't know if highways are responsible for filling in Churchill, but if you guys are, thank you. Churchill Road, are you guys responsible for filling that in when it gets like?
Yes.
Yeah, oh, I was just saying, somebody came in yesterday and kind of worked on it. So just saying thank you.
Oh.
It gets pretty,
Get yelled at.
I understand, but it was just like, it was getting kind of deep. So it was appreciated, the efforts. Second question, I just wanted to ask you guys, how comfortable are you guys with the GAR company for the town assessment? Just wanted to gauge your confidence level with them.
Well, we went out to bid for them, right? And we reviewed, they had a good resume. They were comparable. They'd done many municipalities.
The state recommended
They
them.
were recommended by the state, so, we aren't familiar with the assessment because it hasn't been done in the town of Kent since 1998, which is pretty negligent on the town in a whole for not doing it sooner than that, to be honest with you.
That is something I heard from Seth, and like my house was built in '05, so I would assume it was done in '05. Then there was a soft reval done in 2018. I just bought the house, and part of my consideration for buying the house when I did, I actually even spoke to Seth over the phone. I lived an hour away when I bought the house in December, was how far was the assessment going to go? My understanding was we were going to get to 100% assessment level for the town. Now, my understanding wasn't that the assessment level was X when I bought the house, and it's now Z when I am in the house, which is about only 2 months later. I didn't live in the property, I didn't know everything about the property, so it was kind of hard to, gauge it off of people's opinions, like, assessors for banks, et cetera, et cetera. It's just their opinion, as far as I know. I live in the house, and let's just say, for a lack of better words, it was $4 before, now it's $8 in assessment level, and it's 100%. My main concern is, are we gonna shift over to like a mill rate, where it's kind of like a standard mill rate, we're not billing dollar per thousand for every thousand? Because if I were to go to old standards, I'd be at a kind of a big number looking at my house. So I just wanted to see how the town felt about it. I'm new, so I'd rather ask the questions here, and, what's his name? Seth was great explaining, by the way.
And like I said, this assessment is new to all of us on the town board because we've never done one before. The company will be doing some presentations on it to help explain it to everybody in length. I don't know when they're scheduled, probably not yet because it's still going through the
But you can-
process.
You can also grieve it.
Yeah, you can go through your grievance.
You can do
I'm working on the process with them.
And there's gonna be a lot of options, but there's a lot of questions about it right now, and there's gonna be people that know in very detail how the whole thing works and how things are shifting one way or the other, that are gonna be available here for everybody to ask questions to and explain it, instead of us just trying to give you answers that, you know.
Yeah, no, I just really wanted to see if you guys had sort of an understanding of how they work, how well they work. Let's just say I made 3 phone calls and I got 3 different answers from them. My understanding is if you hire a company to do something, they should have a pretty uniform level of understanding of what they're doing, not making certain assumptions that, hey, if I bought my house for X, that's your assessment value. That's not how market value is determined. It's based on lots of sales, lots of data. Not all 7,000 parcels in town of Kent were sold in the last 2 years. So I would want it to be fair to every single person in the town of Kent. I'm not just worried about my home. I just have a sort of like this concern that if someone just assesses properties at X values just based on purchases, then I think it's a little bit troublesome.
Oh,
That's just my understanding.
And I think there's a lot more than that. I don't know who you talk to at different places, but, you know, it's one of those things where I think it's been explained to us, because we've been talking about this for many, many years, and had the state down telling us, you know, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you're way behind. And that guy kind of is the one that helped explain it to me the best, the guy that used to come down from the
Yes, I
state
can't
and
think
talk
of
to
what
us.
his name was.
But again, I think instead of us trying to tell you something here that might not be right, we gotta wait till the right people are in the room to explain it to you.
Thank you. I just want to make sure they're the right people.
Yeah, and there's always a grievance process through here,
Oh,
right?
I'm well aware at this point now,
so
yeah.
But
this
I
way
do
if you
wanna-
feel it's not fair.
I do want to point out, just from a simplistic sense, because I got my own and watched, you know, a large increase. It's important to understand that because we were assessed at about 2/3 of the value of the houses, and now we're going up to 100%, if your assessment goes up by, say, 50%, that doesn't mean your taxes are going to go up by 50%, because the whole town is moving up to that 100%. And the budget that we're bringing in to pay for the town and the budget that the school district is bringing in is not going up by 50%. So the mill rate will change. And so some people are going to pay more, some people are going to pay less, but that proportion by which your assessment goes up is not the amount by which your taxes are going to go up.
Yeah, that was understood. Thank you.
Well, I'm not sure that that's generally understood, which is why I wanted to kind of put it on the record tonight.
Yeah, I was just honestly just trying to gauge, you know, what your guys' understanding of the company was, because, you know, I don't want to point the darts in the wrong place. So I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting my time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And Chris, you said since 1998, but for 20 years, the town was at 100%.
Right.
And when I was, because I'm taking exception to that, because when I was there as supervisor,
and you
Gary...
shouldn't take exception. I was curious I asked the question,
Right.
when was the last full-blown hire somebody to come in and do
Right.
this? And the answer was 1998, and you're right. If you were able, a town should be able with the proper, you know, through the building inspector giving,
Right.
no offense, Bill, giving the new pools and the
Right.
sheds and the, you
Right.
know, additions to houses to the assessor, keep up with it. But
Right.
the town of Kent, and I don't know how long it's been that it's been falling down. It hasn't been that long it's been falling
No,
down,
it
but
was
we went a
under-
couple of years without an assessor,
It-
right?
Yeah, well, again, that was Miss Maureen.
Yeah, it was
but-
prior- it was prior to
and
me
I brought
being
it
on the
up.
board.
I brought it up 4 years ago when Denbaum was here. I said, you're at 89%, and I tried to tell them then, you can't keep doing this. And he was a tax certiorari lawyer, and he said, oh, no, it's good to be below. And then it went down to 67%. So that's what happened, because when Gary Link was here, and I
It
love
was at
Seth.
It was at 100%.
It was 100%, and what he did is he did do a revalve, but it was, you know,
a
small.
soft one,
So,
right.
right, so
And
a
that's
third
where
went
we
up,
wanna
a third
get
went
to.
down, a third stayed the same, and he just continued to do that, so then he didn't get crazed. But right now, people are going crazy because they're seeing double, and they're thinking that it's going up double, so thank you, Ann, for the explanation. But that's what's happening, but I'm just saying, for 20 years, it was at 100%, and all the towns agreed back then to be at, and it was probably 1998 that they all agreed to be at 100%.
I didn't mean to say that we hadn't done it. I'm just saying that that's the last time that we came in for it. We were able with, you know, the proper staffing to
correct.
keep it up there.
Yes, but then it was almost 2 years that there was not an assessor.
But we fell behind so
Yes.
far that we had
When-
to get it
And it
done.
got pushed down the
When
road
Maureen
and
was
down the
here.
road, and then now we are where we are.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
unfortunately.
And hopefully moving forward from
Well,
this point.
Carmel
like-
did the same thing. Carmel,
Yeah.
how many years did they not have?
You know,
police,
and
you
Kathy,
know,
to your
so-
point, hopefully from this point moving forward, we can do those soft adjustments and just keep up with it
Yes.
and never fall back to, down to what we're at right now.
Right.
That's our
Okay.
hope.
I just wanted to clarify.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good? Anything else? I make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
See everyone next week.